Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to change the oil for a 2013 Jaguar XJ V6. This is super easy and a great way to save money on a older luxury car where they're going to charge you the same amount as a new luxury car at the dealership to do this very simple service, something you could definitely do at home. Just be sure to dispose of your oil correctly. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. So I'm going to walk underneath the vehicle so you can kind of gain a sense of where we are today. And the first thing we're going to do is undo these fasteners right here. That one's missing, that one, and there's probably another one. I guess there's only those two. And then kind of midway down, there's that nut, and then this bolt, that bolt, another bolt just there, and ours is missing here. Basically, we want this plastic underbalance piece removed. So let's do that. So I'm gonna grab a 10mm socket, remove these. They're kind of the bigger ones, and then the other ones that are a little bit smaller are the 8mm. And as you remove fasteners from this valance piece, just be wary that it's gonna fall down. Luckily it's plastic, so it shouldn't weigh too much. So as you remove those fasteners, I just like to leave one decent sized one. I chose this 10mm nut here because it's going to fall down on me, so just kind of brace it. And then you can just remove it. So right here is the 13mm drain bolt. We need to remove that using a socket or wrench, doesn't matter. Usually you just kind of need to break them loose, and then you can do the rest by hand. So it's at this point I'm going to warn you to wear eye protection. Oil in your eye is no fun. And a pair of gloves is also a good idea. We just go ahead and remove that and let every last drop of oil drip out. So next I'm going to take some solvent. I got carburetor spray, it works fine. We're just going to spray that mating surface and give that a nice clean up to give our new O-ring its best chance of sealing. It's okay if oil is still coming out a little bit. I know everybody wants to get every atom of old oil out of there, but I've cleaned off the drain plug and put a new O-ring on there, or washer. Link down below in the description. And the torque spec is 17.5 foot-pounds. I think it's like 24 Newton meters, but I'm an American, so I'm going to use foot-pounds. There you go. Not very tight at all. If I had to kind of tell you how much it would be without a torque wrench, somewhere between wrist tight and one arm tight. So then we can put our underbalance piece back on, and it kind of slots into the piece in the front. Like that, and then line up the holes with that stud for the nut, and that nut will hold everything in place while I'm putting everything else on. As far as torque spec goes for these, just wrist tight's fine. I'm using a little teeny tiny impact implement, and when it clutches out I know it's fine. It's fine, but don't overthink it. And there we go, all our fasteners put back. Now we can head topside. So once you open the hood, just grab the engine cover and pull straight up and out. So the next thing we need to do is get an oil filter socket number 907 and stick that on there. It's kind of a snug fit, but it's gonna work for us. Link down below in the description, and that takes a 1/2" drive ratchet. And we can just start loosening our canister. Then, sort of around the base of the canister, it's going to want to dribble and make a mess, so just kind of put a shop towel down there as we remove the filter and take it over to our workbench. So what we're going to do next is remove our filter material. Just pull straight out like that. Set that aside. And then the O-ring right here, grab a hook tool or use your fingers and get that O-ring out of there. Now we can open up our new filter. Okay. Oh, it came with gloves in it for some reason. That's hilarious. Here's a new filter, and our new filter, of course, comes with that new O-ring, which we need. So we're going to put it into its groove, into its home where we found it. Just roll it on there. That's fine for right now. Then we're going to take our new filter material, push it into the housing until it makes that sound. Then put some oil on the tip of your finger and just apply it to these two O-rings down here and this O-ring that we replaced. Now it's ready to go back in the car. So making sure your filter material doesn't jostle loose when you put it back, just put the whole filter housing back in its home and make sure it's not cross-threaded. Then we're going to grab our socket again and put it on there. And the torque spec for that housing is 25 Newton meters. Link down below in the description to a torque wrench that will work for you. It says 25.5, 25 plus 5 on the filter housing. All that means is just snug it down a little bit again. Okay, there we go, 25, and then just give it a little more bump, one more little bump. There you go, that's it. Nice. Okay, then right here is your oil fill cap. Just remove that, super easy. And then we're gonna place a funnel. So the capacity for the oil is 7.66 quarts or 7.25 liters. So just put that in of 5W20 full synthetic. And link down below in the description. All right, and there is 7.66 quarts. So with all the oil it needs inside of it, we're going to put the oil cap back on, start the engine for a while, let it run for about 30 seconds, turn it back off, and then check the level inside of the car. Let's go ahead and remove our funnel here and replace that oil cap. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and start it, let it run for about 30 seconds or so. With that, our oil change is complete, not leaking out of the filter. We put the right amount of oil in according to our screen. And what we're gonna do is put back our engine cover. It goes on these little posts here. You see them kind of located around the engine bay. And then on the back, there's these little slots, and those slot into the rubber isolators right there. So it kind of just slots in like that and then pushes down. And it looks really spiffy. So in order to reset the service interval and get that annoying thing to go away, you're gonna need to plug in a fancy scanner like this one into the service port, the OBD2 port underneath the dash. Go to your oil reset, go to your VIN, auto detect. And if you have a car like this, it is definitely worth it to buy one of these scanners. They're about $500 and they're worth every penny. So there's our VIN. Yes, that info is correct. So make sure you have the ignition on, and but not the engine. Engine doesn't need to be on. Go to our hot functions. So service interval reset. Yes, it has been serviced. We just did that. It is on. Push OK. There we go. All right, it says it's done. And then we'll turn off the ignition. Off. There we go. Sometimes you gotta hold it. Push OK. And then it's got a module initialize. Then we gotta turn it on again. There we go. It is on. It's bonging at us. I'm sure that is not pressing. It's OK. Okay, let's check that. All right, I think it's gone. Looks good. Push OK. Turn our ignition back off. It's kind of a dance here. There we go. Push OK again. Set the ignition back to on. All right. Click treble clear. Sure. Why not? And it's important to note that I have the door closed and windows up as well. Sometimes computers are a little finicky with that kind of thing. Push OK to continue. Gonna turn the ignition off. Off. Go. Push OK. Turn the ignition back on. Push OK. It says it's completed successfully. Turn the ignition back off. Goodness. Push OK. All right. And we should be all done. Just back out of there. Make sure you're completely out of the system. And look at that. The warning for the service interval has gone away. We're good. So that's how to replace your engine oil and filter for a 2013 Jaguar XJ V6. Like I said at the head of this video, They're normally going to charge you probably like $500, maybe more at the Jaguar dealership to do this service. Even if you just take it to a regular mechanic, they're going to charge you a premium luxury car price on top of this one. It really wasn't anything special. This is definitely something you could do at home in your garage. You're just going to need a pretty fancy scanner to reset the service interval light, but that's a one-time cost, and once you have that scanner, you can keep working on your car from there. If you have this vehicle and you plan on working on yourself, you should definitely invest in a fancy scanner. I have one linked down below in the description. Basically everything on this car is going to require resets and looking at codes and clearing the whole CAN network on vehicles like this one. So putting the money down and getting a nice scanner up front is a one-time cost and a great way to invest in yourself, invest in your vehicle, and save money cumulatively over the lifetime of this vehicle. If you found this video helpful or interesting at all, please consider becoming a channel member down below. There's tons of perks, including getting access to videos like this one early and exclusive membership content. So that's super, super cool. Barring that, a like, comment, and subscription go a huge way in telling YouTube that I did a good job, and I'd be so appreciative. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you next time.